experienced real estate agent serving the Dallas-Fort Worth area. In today's episode number 17, we are going to talk about flooring, everything you got to know about flooring. So let's get started. Now, in this show, I'm going to talk about everything that you need to know about different types of floor, different methods of installation, talk about what floor is an appropriate fit within different areas within your property, in terms of maintenance, which is easy to maintain, which is hard to maintain, and I'll also briefly talk about the cost of these different floors. Now, before we get started and getting into the detail, the flooring or different areas can be categorized into two types. One is a wet area, which is primarily kitchen, bathrooms, and non-wet areas, which is living, study, bedrooms, game room, and media room, right? So these are non-wet areas because certain flooring types works well in these areas, okay? Now, first distinction to make is soft versus hard flooring. By soft is if you have issues with your feet or ankle or knee and you want soft flooring, the only option you have is going with the carpet. Otherwise, then you can go with a hard flooring, which could be either wood or it could be natural or man-made hard surfaces like ceramic, porcelain, or granite, right? So you can go with hardwood flooring types. Now, with the carpet, carpet is a very common flooring product that you find everywhere, been in use for many number of years. In carpet, you essentially have two layers. Layer one is the woven fabric, comes with different colors and different textures. And then the second part is the padding that goes underneath the carpet. Okay, it stays above the floor, but underneath the woven carpet thing. Now, in terms of cost, carpet is least expensive, but based on the how it is woven, the fabric being used, and what kind of treatment has been applied, and the density, your cost can go up also. The padding also comes with a low, medium, and high dense, and if you want very soft, cushiony, then the cost will go up. In terms of installation cost, carpet is very simple and easy to install by a professional because still you need to stretch the carpet adequately, and the seams between the carpet yards have to be blended, so there are a lot of techniques, but it is relatively, in terms of labor cost, inexpensive. In terms of areas of the property, carpet is good for all areas except wet areas. There are some homes where I have seen carpet in the master bathroom or in the bathrooms. Why it is not recommended in wet areas is because it has a tendency to absorb and retain moisture, and moisture in a home is not good because it can be very conducive for the growth of mold, right? In terms of maintenance, carpet is one of the high maintenance item because you have to vacuum clean every couple of days based on the traffic, and every year or so you may have to steam clean the carpet to disinfect it. So carpet is a high maintenance among all the flooring types. Okay, it's low in cost but high in maintenance, and if you are very allergic or one in your family is very allergic, carpet accumulates dust and it may not be the best option. So that is all regarding the carpet. The next one in the hard flooring type is vinyl. Vinyl is a product predominantly used in apartments. Okay, it's a thin couple of millimeter, 3 millimeters in thickness. It comes in a roll. It has different patterns and design. And to install those vinyl, it is relatively easy. You can glue on the floor and roll this vinyl on top of it. So very simple. It is kind of scratch resistant. It is not scratch proof. It is scratch resistant, and it is waterproof. Okay. But I have seen builders use vinyl in wet areas, especially when the home is priced in 150s $200,000 range, because they wanted to bring the cost of material and cost of labor down. Okay. Of late, I have not seen many homes with this kind of vinyl flooring. Maintenance is relatively easy on vinyl flooring. Now let's go to the next level of hard flooring, which is laminate. In laminate, what you have is the thickness and the width of the laminate. Okay, they come in longitudinal pieces. The bottom of the laminate is actually a man-made material. The top layer is a thin photofilm that replicates some of the natural wood. Okay, so it's a thin film that is laid on top of this man-made material. Now, based on the thickness, it could be 1, 2, 3, 4 inch thickness. Sorry, the width and the thickness could be 1/4 or 3/8. The cost of laminate could vary, but they are not expensive. Okay, they are a tad higher than vinyl, but they are not very expensive. In laminate, when you're installing it, the laminate are locked in pieces. That means if you have a piece here, they get locked. Okay. And when they get locked on a floor, there is a gap between the floor and the bottom of the laminate because they are what is called floating. So they are actually floating. And therefore, when you walk on a laminate floor, you will hear noise. Okay, because there is air between the floor and the bottom of the laminate creating that noise. In order to muffle the noise, you put what is called an underlayment. So when you put an underlayment, it muffles the noise. Okay. If your wallet is pretty tight and you wanted to have a wood-like feel in your home, laminate is a great option. It is not very expensive, and installation could be pretty quicker. In terms of areas, laminate is not recommended for wet areas because when the water gets inside, the man-made material is actually compressed wood particles and they have a tendency to bloat. Okay, so not recommended for any wet areas, either kitchen as well as the bathroom. Okay, in terms of maintenance, they are relatively worry-free. Some of them are scratch resistant, but they are not waterproof or water resistant at all. If there is water, you immediately have to dry it out. If not, you're going to get the laminate bloated and it can even warp. Okay, so that is about laminate. Now let's look at real wood. Real wood is a fantastic home improvement project for anybody. It is real wood, and again there are two factors to consider. One is the width of the wood. It can be 1 inch, 2 inch, 3. The longer the width, the higher the cost, and the thickness. They come in 1/4 of an inch, 3/8 of an inch, 5/8 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch, and even 1 inch. And based on the width and the thickness, it can really vary. Now with real wood, it is wood from top until the bottom. Okay, there is no man-made material in real wood, and most of these wood are either stained so that it can easily be installed, or you can stain after installation. We will talk about it. Okay. Now, when you are installing the wood on a floor, the floor has to be leveled. Okay. What if your floor is not level? It is a little bit curvy in nature, right? So when it is a little bit curvy in nature, you need to level the floor by putting cement, and then you put the wood flooring on top of it. Okay. When you're dealing with real wood, you need to make sure the wood gets acclimatized to your home and environment, which means you cannot buy the wood and the same day you can start installing. You need to bring all the wood pieces that you buy from the manufacturer or wherever you're buying from, and you let them sit for a couple of days so that they get used to the ambience, environment, and the moisture of your home, and then you do the installation. Talking about installation of wood, there are two ways in which you can install the wood. You can apply after you level the floor, you can apply glue and then you can glue it down. It is called glue down wood installation. Or you can go to a much expensive option where nail down. So nail down means you actually get a plywood and you put the plywood on the floor and you nail it to the floor. Okay. And then on top of the plywood, which could be already 1/2 inch or 1 inch, you then put your real wood on top of it and then you nail it down. Okay. It is a fabulous appeal. And what you do is once you apply the wood on the plywood, some homeowners prefer what is called hand scraping. So literally they use a tool, the installers will use a tool and scrape some wood on top of the real wood. And it gives a nice texture, nice feel as you walk on the surface. And then what they do is they apply different stains. If you want a walnut darker stain, or if you want kind of a real wood brown with a red tinge, so you have hundreds of categories of stains, and then they will apply the stain on top of the real wood. So that is definitely a great option. But in terms of real wood, the cost per square feet, if you're going for a nail down, can range anywhere from $15 to $20. Pretty expensive. But real wood, the returns are also pretty good. You can get almost 90 cents to $1 for $1 return when it comes time for resale. Okay, not only you enjoy the home when you live there, but also at the time of resale, buyers that I show homes with real wood, they love it. Okay, so that is real wood. Now, in terms of areas, real wood is not recommended in wet areas because still it is wood. You need to maintain. If you don't dry up the water, it can still bloat, right? And it can warp. So not recommended for wet areas. Okay, in terms of maintenance, it's relatively maintenance free. However, because being it is a real wood, if you're moving furniture around over a period of time, you're going to see scratches. But with real wood, if you see too many scratches or if you don't like a particular stain color, you can buff it or you can sand it using a machine, and then you can reapply different stain color. Because it is 1/2 inch thick, you can do it in a number of times, 10-15 times you can sand it and restain it, right? So that is an advantage of using real wood. Now when you go to engineered wood, this is a combination of where the manufacturers use real wood for the first top layer, maybe 5 millimeters will be real wood, and in the bottom it is manufactured wood. So it's actually particle wood that is baked and manufactured in a factory, right? So if I show you a real wood and an engineered wood, there will be no difference. Because it is engineered and manufactured, the cost of these wood from a cost point of view, material perspective, it is much lower. So if you are tighter on budget and you still want a look of a wood, then an engineered wood would be a great option. In terms of areas, engineered wood is recommended for non-wet areas. In terms of installation, you can glue it down on the floor or you can go for a nail down option. But in terms of cost, it could be from $10 to $15 per square feet. Okay, bit cheaper than using a real wood. Okay, now like real wood, if there are scratches, right, because in engineered wood you have real wood but the thickness is only like 5 millimeter, maybe 1 or 2 times you can sand it and restain it. After that you're going to hit the bottom, in which case you have to take out the wood and put a new wood flooring. Okay, so that is engineered wood. Now let's get into tiles. Folks, tiles are really a fantastic hard flooring project, and they come with the different sizes, from small to 12 by 12, it could be 14 by 14, it could be 18 by 18, it could be 24 by 24. It comes in different sizes, and these tiles last longer. Okay, in terms of areas, you can use these tiles in throughout the house, both in wet areas and non-wet areas. Okay, I will, as I go through different tile types, I will give you my recommendation in terms of where it is preferred to install a particular category of tiles. With the tiles, you have what is called how you want to lay out the tiles, right? Now you can have tile like a brick pattern, right? You have one tile, another tile like this, and then you can repeat the pattern. And then after you finish one row, you can say the second row, are you going to offset 50% or 75%? So you can have different forms or patterns of layout when you're doing tiles. And you can get really, really fancy because you can have a tile laid not in a brick pattern, but in a diagonal pattern, okay? Or you can have tiles, and every fourth tile you may have a different insert. You can have a different design. Or you can have a liner, along the baseboard. You may say on the floor you want to have a liner. So it can get very, very fancy, and as you get more fancier and higher design, the cost of labor is going to go up. Okay, so, and also in tiles, when you lay the tiles next to each other, you can decide how much of a gap you want to give, 1/8 or 1/4 or 3/4. And in order to fill those gaps, you need to apply what is called a grout, and grout comes with different shades and different colors. Okay, so with the tile project, your complexity of what you want, what kind of a tile, what kind of a pattern, what kind of grout you want to use, it gets very fancy, and it takes time to think how you want to lay the tiles. Now, in terms of tiles, these ceramic is a popular option. It is a manufactured tile. It is not natural. So in ceramic tiles are pretty durable. Ceramic tiles can be laid and cut a little bit easier than the natural tiles. They are not that expensive, and they come in different shades and different shapes. Okay. One of the recent trends in the last couple of years is that if you like, let's say, a wood kind of a look in the kitchen, but you don't want to use real wood or engineered wood, then there are ceramic tiles that look like wood. So it is actually a manufactured product, cement, gravel, and other mixture. But on top of it, you have a thin film that is etched that looks like a wood material. So it is a good product. If you want to use in wet areas, you can still use these kind of ceramic tiles. Okay. The second one is a porcelain. Very, very close. The composition of how it is made is different, but you can still use porcelain both in wet areas and non-wet areas. But if you're using in wet areas, you have to be a little bit careful, especially if the porcelain is finished with high polish. Okay, there are some porcelain types that are not high polish, and therefore they are anti-slippery when you're using in wet areas. So you have to be careful based on which area you might want to select a different texture of finish in porcelain. Both the ceramic and porcelain are very easy to manage and maintain, but the only drawback you have with either ceramic and porcelain is, let's say you're doing a project at the home, you're taking a hammer and you accidentally drop it. They have a tendency to break because they are very brittle, right? In that case, it's very easy to bring an expert, and if you have spare pieces, you can take it out and put back a new one. Okay, that is the only drawback. Or if you're using this in a kitchen and you drop something on the floor, they have a tendency to chip also, right? So these are some issues with this man-made hard tiles, which is ceramic or porcelain. Now let's look into another material. It is natural. It's called slate. It is quarried from sedimentary rocks, And where I have seen slates to be used primarily in the outdoor spaces, like in a patio or in a courtyard. If you have an open courtyard in your house, slate is a great material, comes with different texture. It is highly slippery in nature. I have rarely found slate being used by a homeowner inside the property. Okay, as you go into slate has a tendency to chip, so the cost to install slates are a little bit more expensive, but they are very durable, very easy to maintain and manage. My recommendation is primarily if you have an outdoor kitchen, outdoor patio, or a covered patio, slate is a way to go. Then one level hub is travertine, a fantastic material. It has a lot of natural veins, a little bit porous. This rock is of that particular type. Predominantly, I've seen travertine used in the bathrooms, okay, either on the floor or on the side surround. Okay, very nice material, very durable. But the cost of installation for travertine is higher. You can get different sizes of travertine, some matte finish, and you can also get highly polished travertine. And when you use highly polished travertine in kitchen or wet areas, you have to exercise caution. Okay, then you go into marble. Okay, marble, a piece of marble, okay, at 12 by 12 inches can start from anywhere from $3 or $4, can go all the way from $10 to $12, because it's an igneous rock. Quarrying that rock and getting those tiles is pretty expensive, but they have a fantastic appeal. In terms of areas, you can use marble anywhere you like in the property. It can be wet areas, non-wet areas. You can also use in the fireplace surround. You can also use marble in shower cubicles, so it is a fantastic material. In terms of marble, the lower priced, which is a common grain that you will see, common minerals, they are lower, $4 or $4.50. But if you want exotic, where it has more exotic rocks, it costs them more to manufacture, quarry and manufacture that material, right? So it costs you more. In terms of labor, it is expensive because you need a special blade in order to saw and then lay the tiles. Okay, marbles, and it is a very labor intensive process. Okay, the next one is granite. Again, granite is expensive than marble, anywhere from $6 to about $15. Now you have $6 one are quarried from a granite that has a lot of different minerals, speckles that you see in every countertop or every floor. If you want to use it for a floor, they are cheaper. But if you want something exotic, then you have to quarry from a special rock, and therefore it is going to cost more money, both from a material perspective and also labor, because cutting is super hard. It takes time, and therefore the labor cost can range from $4 to $6 or even $7 per square feet on top of the material. Okay, but they are durable and you can use it at any areas. It can be wet area, it can be non-wet areas, and they are if you're using it for wet area, you have to be very careful because granite is highly polished, and there is a chance of slipping and falling when the floor is wet. They are very durable. If you drop something, the tendency is it doesn't break unless you're using a hammer very hard. They are natural and stronger material. The tendency to break is very, very less. Okay, it is very expensive. And in terms of resale, when I show homes where the seller has laid granite in certain areas, right, and they have some patterns, people fall in love with these marble and granite flooring. Okay, so there is also a recent, very recent, folks, in the last 2 years, luxury vinyl planks. It is a man-made material. The manufacturers found a way in which You can have the look and feel of a real wood with all the grains and the texture, and at the same time it is not very heavy on your pocket. It is very budget friendly. Not only it is budget friendly, it looks like wood. Installation is much easier. Material is also low cost, and there are two other advantage of luxury vinyl planks. It is scratch proof and it is waterproof. Okay, so from a maintenance perspective, it has best of like a real wood. At the same time, it doesn't have the hassles of maintenance of a real wood. Okay, so I've seen a lot of my clients take this path when they buy a home or when they are renovating a home, and they come in different width sizes. Okay, so fantastic product. People love it. Long lasting, low maintenance, but also you have the feel and the look of real wood. And you can use luxury vinyl planks in any areas, whether it is a wet area or a non-wet area. Okay, so folks, we talked about flooring in this particular episode. I talked about different kinds of flooring, soft and hard flooring. We talked about wood kind of a flooring, and then we talked about hard flooring, which are tile based. Okay, these projects really add value in terms of your ROI. You not only enjoy home improvement flooring project when you are in the property, but also when it comes to resale, you have a return that can range from anywhere from 60 cents on a dollar you invested to almost a dollar for dollar return. Okay, fantastic projects. Folks, if you liked my video, could you please like me on my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Rocket Realty TX. If you are watching this video on my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/C/Rocket Realty TX. Thanks for watching.